Hello everyone, today I have a very exciting new addition to add to this garden over here. This is our front flower bed and we are going to be adding a boxwood hedge over here so that we can hedge out this bed and give it some formality and some structure and some evergreen interest. But before we do that, let me give you a quick view of this bed. Over here, it's in the shade right now. We have some Lamium, and this is the purple dragon Lamium right here. We also have this beautiful nectarine tree, the Fantasia nectarine. We also have a row of the Gertrude Jekyll roses and some phlox and some other things that will, in the future, next year, Lord willing, we'll be adding some more plants in here. And I have another rose right there. This is the At Last rose from Proven Winners, and just some random stuff, some annuals, some Siberian irises and ground cover creeping phlox, Veronica and Ajuga and such. The boxwood hedge is going to go all around the edge over here in the front, and that's just going to add so much more interest and beauty to this area. This is right here, our front entrance, and I want this area to have some formality to it. We have a colonial home. I've done some research to figure out what kind of home we have. I don't know what the different types of homes, but apparently we have a colonial home, and I've always loved the structure of the formal gardens, and I also love a little bit of kind of a cottagey feel to the garden. So this garden is going to be a mixture of both. You can see the roses are in a sort of a hedge over here, but I accidentally planted them a little bit too far apart from each other, so I will need to plant some plants in between them, so there will be some repetition instead of kind of a row of roses. And the boxwood is going to be the formal hedge, and I will be trying to plant the plants in a way where it's going to look kind of formal but also more on the loose end, and look sort of a little bit of would have a little bit of a cottagey feel to it. And these two areas right here, these two flower beds, are also going to be changing in the future. I'm also going to turn them into more of a formal type flower beds with boxwood hedging that will be kind of the same kind that I'm going to be putting in this flower bed over here. These are our boxwoods over here, and I got these online from, what's it called? I'm not exactly sure, I forgot the name, but I will try to put it on the screen so that if you guys want some boxwood plugs, you can get them as well. They were fairly cheap in comparison to buying the larger plants, and I can't find this variety also in our area. So this variety right here is the wintergreen boxwood. It's supposed to have a really good winter tolerance where the foliage on it is not going to brown or bronze. It's going to stay beautifully lush green with this glossy foliage over here. This is one that has kind of larger foliage right there, but I think that they will all probably have this kind of foliage right here, the smaller type. I'm not sure why this one is kind of a rebel and has this more of a structure over here, more of the structure. So these come in really tiny plugs. They are in this more like 1 inch. Is that 1 inch? No, 2-inch cells. And some of them have actually 2 boxwoods in each of these cells. So I will be dividing them, and if I have a lot of them, I will hold on to them just in case if some of them did die in this process. I haven't put irrigation down in here yet, but I have irrigation in that section of the bed because this section was added on last fall. So I will be dividing them carefully. I'm going to have to keep them watered every single day so that they don't dry out, because as I separate the roots, also some of the soil is going to come off of them. That's going to cause some root disturbance, and it's also going to cause them to maybe stress a little bit. We are in a little bit of a heat wave right now, believe it or not. It is in early September, and we are having some 80 degrees temperatures. And this is somewhat unusual, but I think the plants are a little bit confused because we have some plants that are turning color already, and then this weather came. But it is cooling down a lot in the evenings, and I'm hoping that this is going to help them and not get a shock, and hopefully the warmth will also help them establish their roots better for the coming up winter. So we are in zone 5B 6A. Our zone has changed in this past season, and I still follow the zone 5B guidelines because where we are over here, we are a little bit higher than the center of our town, and I would assume that this is kind of where they decided, okay, this where they would take the measurement, I don't know, the temperature measurements and base it off of that, because usually whenever I read the temperatures for our area over here, our house where it is located is typically a few degrees lower than what our town center is. So I still garden as if I'm in 5B, and these boxwoods are hardy to zone 5B, are hardy to zone 5B, yes, because it says that they can tolerate temperatures to -10. They might also be able to tolerate temperatures to -20. I'm not exactly sure. You can, if it doesn't state that on the website, you can contact the nursery maybe, and they might be able to help you out with that. And this variety, wintergreen boxwood, grows about 4 to 5 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide, and I will be spacing them about 2 feet apart from each other. Since these grow to 3 to 4 feet wide, that means that 1 foot on either side of the boxwood is going to interlock with each other, and that's what's going to create that hedge. At least 1 foot. That is if they did not grow to their full potential, which I think they will, because this is a really good area over here. It is sunny now. This tree right here is going to provide some shade later on. You can see it's starting to provide some shade already. This is its second season, kind of. I planted it last fall, and it has been doing really well. So this section probably of the flower bed is going to be more shaded, and I want to position the boxwoods kind of a little bit closer to the edge rather than farther in, so that I can have some space right here where I can plant some more plants in there, because I have a really cool plant that I would like to put in here for fall interest. And by doing so, that means the boxwoods are more likely to encroach on the grass over here, which is okay by me if they do, and I will be hedging them in the future, of course, as they mature. But the reason why this is okay by me, because I'm going to either in the future extend this walkway so that it will go kind of all the way this way, or keep it grass maybe, as grass, but I also want to extend that flower bed and kind of shape it in a more of a square or rectangular shape. So it's okay if the boxwoods end up kind of extending more to over here, because I will just extend the bed a little bit, and this whole area is going to be changing anyways, so it's not a big deal, and I think it will still look beautiful that way. I didn't want to exactly line it up with the edge over there, just for that reason. So the idea is that I will space them 1 foot away from the edge of the flower bed and 2 feet apart from each other. I also have here some biotone starter fertilizer, a measuring tape, my gloves, a kneeling pad, and also I will be giving each boxwood maybe a tablespoon or maybe a little bit more, because they are so tiny. I don't want to over fertilize them and possibly end up burning their roots. So we're just going to be cautious on how much fertilizer we are going to give them. The area is pretty clear from weeds. Hopefully it's going to be easy to plant. The one thing I forgot to get with me is my hori knife. I can't believe I forgot that, because I don't go out into the garden without that tool. So I need that to create my holes. I'm not going to need a lot of, not going to need large holes. and their root balls are tiny. The only challenging thing that I'm thinking I'm going to face is last fall I put down these wood chips over here. Now the bottom layer has started to break down, but the top layer you can see it's pretty chunky, and I have a very thick layer of mulch in here. So I'm going to need to remove a lot of this mulch from around the boxwoods, and when I do plant them, the mulch should be a little bit away from the base of the plant so that it doesn't cause the plant to kind of rot or cause any stem rot or anything of the sort. So I want to plant it in the soil, not in the mulch, because the mulch will dry out very quickly. And I will just scooch the mulch away from it just a little bit to keep it safe. And I will have to hand water it every day, not so much, you know, they have very small root balls, just so that their roots can get established and not dry out. In the future, I will be adding some irrigation in here. I ran out of drip tubing, so I can't add any irrigation at this moment, but hopefully next season I'll be able to do that, and hopefully they will fare well through the winter and not have any losses. Since I have a lot more boxwoods, I think that I will be able to hopefully save them in the garage for the next season, where I'm going to be creating a new flower bed with them maybe, or new hedging in one of these flower beds over here. Or if I have lost any of the boxwoods that I have planted in here, I can easily replace them with these boxwoods. Especially that it was really difficult to find this variety in my area. I had to purchase these online, and again, these are just plugs. That means the price is very affordable, and I was able to get all of these for a very minimal price. If you know, if I was creating a boxwood hedge of this size over here, this with mature large plants, this will cost a whole lot of money. So I'm super thankful to have been able to find this nursery that sells these boxwood plugs. All right, so I'm gonna grab my stuff and we're gonna start planting, and then I'll show you the end result. It's probably not gonna look like much because they're all small, but it's kind of nice to see it afterwards and see how these plants will look, hopefully, and maybe we can hopefully visualize what these plants will look in the future along with the rest of the plants that are in here. So let's get started. Oh, and if I haven't introduced myself, if you're new here, my name is Chantel. Welcome to my garden. I would love it if you would hit that subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications of whenever I upload new videos. So let's go ahead and get started. Since these boxwoods grow about 3 to 4 feet wide, I'm going to space the first boxwood about 2 feet away from the edge, and also a foot away from the walkway and a foot away from the edge of the grass. That means that it will have also the potential to grow about 1 to 2 feet more over to the walkway over here, but I don't want it to grow, so I will be shearing it. Probably this side is going to get sheared a lot more heavier than the other sides, but that is more preferable because the more you shear it, the more dense it grows. And if you don't shear it enough, if I just put it to where it's like 3 to 4 feet away from the edge of the walkway, that means that side I can't shear as much, because then I would be shearing it more towards the inside of the bed, and I want it to kind of touch the walkway. And if I don't shear it, that means that side is going to be more loose. It's not going to be as dense as the rest of the boxwood hedge. And this is why I want to put it to kind of like middle, the halfway mark of the growth side of that plant, where it's going to be 2 feet away, so that it will have the potential to grow 2 to 3 more feet if it wants to. And on the tag, when it tells you how wide a plant can get, you have to measure that distance on both sides of the stem of the plant. So that would be kind of like the diameter, and the plant would be the center of the circle, and you would divide that in half basically. So if it grows 4 feet wide, that means you have to give it 2 feet on each side. So maybe I should actually push it 1 foot Now I'm thinking about it, I should have it 1 foot away from the edge of the bed. This way it can grow to the 2 feet wide, 1 foot more onto the edge of the walkway. If I can find my words. I forgot to get my hori hori. I'm gonna go get it and we're gonna measure and start planting. I planted 22 boxwoods in here. They're so tiny, you can barely see them. And I was left with 19 boxwoods still. So they're right over there. And I'm going to pot these up and put them in 3-inch containers. And I'm going to, in the winter, store them in the garage and make sure to continue to water them. And then next season, I'll have them ready and they would have put on a little more growth, hopefully, when I'm ready to plant them. And I will be able to use them for other projects. So super exciting. I paid for 22 boxwoods and I ended up having 22. I think I paid for 26 boxwoods. And I ended up getting, let's see, 22 and 19, that's 41 boxwoods. So that's pretty cool. I'm very happy with that. I think this is, I got a good bang for my buck. So let me just show you what they look like, a kind of a close-up in the hole, so that you can see sort of what I did with the mulch around them and how they look like. And I'll give you an update on them also next season once they put on a little more growth, and show you how they are doing, and maybe in the winter as well if the weather is kind of good and we don't have any snow over them, covering them. I'll also give you an update on them. And I believe that if we have a lot of snow, that's not going to be a bad thing, because that's going to act as an insulative layer for them, because snow is an insulator and it's going to protect them from winter damage, and it's also going to protect their roots. And this bed is actually pretty moist, but I'm still going to water them. It hasn't rained in over a week, but I'm going to water them just so that I can settle their roots in the ground, because some of their roots did get disturbed because I had to separate some of them apart from each other because some of them came in 2 boxwoods in 1 cell. And yeah, so watering them is going to help settle their roots in the ground. So this is what they look like over here, and it might look like the mulch is right up against them, but it's actually, if you look right here, the stem right there is pretty good. There's no mulch that is suffocating it. It's not going to cause any stem rot on the boxwood. So this is the main stalk right here, but it honestly doesn't matter whether it has a main stalk or not, because this is going to be sheared and it's going to develop a multi-branch plant, which is what we want, so that it can kind of bush out and create that boxwood hedge. While I was planting also, I was smelling the beautiful fragrance of this beautiful Gertrude Jekyll. It has such a strong fragrance. I love it, and it has an old rose tone kind of fragrance. So if you don't love that fragrance, you might not want to plant it, but I just love it so much, and I'm super happy that I have it in here. I've also used it for tea a couple times, and I love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope you learned something new from this. And if you like this video, hit that like button, and if you are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the bell to receive notifications of whenever I upload new videos, because if you don't subscribe, you might not be notified that I have uploaded a video. And to make sure that you will get notified, you have to make sure to set the notification so when you hit that bell, it will have kind of a drop down menu. I think you have to hit it twice, and then you have to choose if you want to, how you want to be notified, whether you want to be notified all the time or sometimes. So I suggest you will be that you make it notified all the time, because you know, if you love gardening, you're gonna love these videos. So I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.